it does take a certain level of confidence required to go onto national radio and deny something that's already been comprehensively proven false. Zia Yusuf managed to do that yesterday. Yusuf is Reform's Home Affairs spokesperson. He likes to cosplay as the Shadow Home Secretary, former party chairman, a man who, by his own account, was personally in the print rooms and designing rooms as Reform's local election literature went out last year. So when he sat down for a Times Radio interview, you'd think he'd been briefed on this particular topic.
In the last local elections, your candidates often promised to cut or freeze council taxes. That did not happen. Council taxes were never frozen or cut. Are you going to be more honest this time around about promises you make about council taxes in local elections?
Well, this keeps getting put to us, but Reform, I was chairman at the time, Reform did not promise to cut council tax in the local elections. And I would add to that if you look at Reform's...
The interviewer had done his homework. He'd read the leaflets, he'd read them out on air, North Yorkshire promising to freeze council tax, West Northamptonshire promising to cut them, Leicester, Kent, and Zia just wouldn't accept it. Couldn't see what he would see. Hadn't recognised any of it. The man who was in the very rooms when they were printed.
I've seen the leaflets.
Reform did not.
I've seen the leaflets.
I was chairman at the time, and I was literally in the design rooms and the print rooms as we got those leaflets.
I've seen the leaflets in North. Let me read some out to you, Zia. North Northamptonshire said they would freeze council taxes. West Northamptonshire said they would reduce council waste to help cut your taxes. Worcestershire said we would reduce waste and cut your taxes. Leicestershire said they would cut council tax.
All I can tell you is I do not recognise any of that. And
it's not a question of recognising it, Zia. It's a fact, Zia. It's a fact, though.
Given I was literally the chairman of the party.
But I've literally seen the leaflets.
I signed off the leaflets.
So have I imagined the leaflets?
I'm simply not accepting.
So have I imagined the leaflets?
I'm sorry?
Have I imagined the leaflets?
I can't see what you're looking at.
And this is where most people would stop watching. Zia Yusuf's gone on radio, he denies the leaflets, he's looked like a complete idiot, and everybody moves on. But that interview didn't happen in a vacuum. Now, I've covered this twice on this channel already. We've got the ITV clip where Farage is also at the petrol pumps press conference, he's unguarded, trying out, real defences and as he, on the fly sort of thing.
And by the way, I never said we'd cut. I never said we cut.
Your leaflet said cut your taxes.
Well, which means don't charge the maximum of 4.99%.
Those people would think that would be cutting your taxes.
Never once in the country ever did I say we would cut council tax.
Was it a mistake to put it on your leaflet?
I never put it on my leaflets.
You did. It said reduce waste and cut your taxes. Those were the words.
Nothing with my name ever went on that.
Nothing with my name ever went on it. That was Reform UK's leaflet in Kent. Cutting taxes could mean not putting them up as much, I suppose. 3 different answers in 40 seconds from a man who hadn't worked out his line yet. Then Beth Rigby, same day, same question, and we get wrong, wrong, wrong. And the threat to end the interview if she didn't stop asking. That fumbling had become fury.
Elections at local level, and that's gone up, so how can anyone trust anything you say?
Wrong. Never once last year in the county campaign, including here in Derbyshire, did I ever say that we cut council.
Some of your candidates did.
No.
They haven't.
No.
They've put it up.
No. Our literature...
I'll check what the people in Kent said, because they're putting it up.
You can listen if you want to, or we can jack it in now. It's entirely up to you.
And then the journalist with the physical leaflets. Lancashire, Kent, Reform, UK stands for real change. Putting local people first. We fought for lower council tax. Farage face on the front, the smiley one.
Here's one of yours, your big smiling face there. Yeah. Cut your taxes.
Yes, with stop the boats and scrap net zero.
By the end of that, Farage has a settled position. National messaging. Whatever was on those leaflet about tax referred to national policy. The local candidates ran with it, and that's where he landed.
What you're talking about is a leaflet with national policies on one side.
So Zia Yusuf went to the Times radio interview after all of that had been public for weeks. After the clips, after the leaflet, after the viral moments, after his own party leader had publicly conceded that it was national messaging, and then ran with the original denial. Not Farage's evolved position, the very first one, the one where he'd already been taken apart live in front of camera, and there's a very good reason for it. Have a listen to this moment very carefully.
Northamptonshire said freeze council tax.
We're going round in circles.
So
I was chairman of the party at the time. I was in the print rooms and the design rooms as we got those leaflets across the country, particularly our great branches got that literature out. And at no point did we commit to cutting taxes. But what I want to cutting council taxes. What I want to be crystal clear about, though, is to cutting taxes. But what I want to cutting council taxes.
He says cutting taxes, then catches himself and says cutting council taxes. The national leaflet says reduce council waste to help cut your taxes, not council tax. Taxes. He knows exactly what words are on exactly what document because he was, by his own account, in the room when they were signed off. He's correcting himself back to the safe ground because he's nearly confirmed the one thing he's there to deny. He knows what's on them. He's always known. Here's what I think what actually happened. Not just this week, but this past year. The local election leaflet is deliberately ambiguous. Reduce council waste to help cut your taxes. A promise to reduce waste as a mechanism towards lower taxes generally. Not a specific commitment, not one that just sounds like one, vague enough to escape as one. Local branches took that framing and made it concrete. Freeze council tax, cut council tax, reduce council tax. Because being specific wins votes locally, and the national template was designed to push them in exactly that direction. When the councils raise tax anyway, the architecture reveals itself. The National Party never promised anything like that at a local level. The local candidates ran with that messaging. Zia Yusuf can then go on to radio and say, hand on heart, that HQ never committed to cutting council tax because technically, just barely technically, they didn't. The deniability was built in before those leaflets went out. Farage at the petrol station, cycling through his defences, nothing with my name on it, that was Kent thing, cutting could mean increasing by less, wasn't a man caught off guard. It was a man deciding in real time which exit to use first. All of them were available to him because the ambiguity had been engineered to produce exactly those exits. He eventually settled on the national versus local because that one holds longer under pressure. And Zia going on radio and running the denial a month later isn't a mistake either. For every person who's seen those leaflets, there are 10 who'd only heard Zia say it never happened. The denial does its job for everyone else regardless of how it looks to people already paying attention. Reform got caught. They got caught twice, clearly, on camera with physical evidence, and Zia Yusuf still went on national radio and ran the version they'd already been destroyed. You would think he would be embarrassed by that, but it's not. It's the calculation. Farage losing his temper with Beth Rigby, that wasn't the plan. Losing your composure makes the story bigger than it needs to be, and for a couple of days, it did exactly that. But even that didn't shift the approach. They went back to the denial. They stayed on the denial, and Zia is still on the denial. Because the playbook isn't wrong just because it got caught. For the audience that needs to believe it, it's still working. And that's the bit that's worth watching.